Hello and welcome. Now some of you might be thinking Malta? Isn't that where they film Game of Thrones? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong, darling. It's absolutely gorgeous. But it's also got a lot more to offer than just stunning scenery. If you're considering a move to this sunny island nation in 2025 and, let's be honest, who wouldn't with those beaches, then this is the guide for you. We'll be navigating the ins and outs of Maltese work visas because, as we all know, paperwork is about as much fun as a trip to the dentist. But don't you worry your pretty little heads. I'm here to make it as painless and maybe even a tad entertaining. So grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's get you ready to swap those dreary commutes for a Mediterranean adventure. Let's dive in. First things first, let's have a look at what's on the menu, shall we? Malta, being the welcoming little gem it is, offers a whole smorgasbord of visa options. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation, you see. You've got your single permit, which is the most common one. It's like the all-day breakfast of visas, perfect for most situations. Then there's the EU Blue Card, a bit fancier, isn't it? It's for those high-flying, highly skilled individuals. Think of it as the lobster bisque of visas. And for those who are practically Maltese royalty, the CEOs, the directors, the big cheeses, there's the Key Employee Initiative, or KEI for short. Very exclusive, darling. We've also got the intra-corporate transferee permit, for those moving within a company, and the short stay and national long stay visas for shorter gigs. Now I know what you're thinking. Graham, this is more confusing than trying to understand Bitcoin. Don't panic, we'll be dissecting each visa type in detail later on. The point is, Malta has a visa to fit every career aspiration. Whether you're a barista, a brain surgeon, or a Beyoncé backup dancer, there's a place for you on this sunny island. Now before you pack your swimsuit and sun cream, we need to talk about the not-so-fun part. The paperwork. I know, it's enough to make anyone reach for the wine, but trust me, it's not as daunting as it seems. First up, the usual suspects, your passport, which needs to be valid for at least 6 months after your intended stay, and some passport-sized photos. Remember, darlings, no selfies. We need to see those cheekbones in proper lighting. Next, you'll need an employment contract or job offer. This is basically your golden ticket to Malta. No job, no visa, I'm afraid. And of course, they'll want to see some proof of your qualifications. Diplomas, certificates, letters from your mom saying how brilliant you are, anything goes. Now, on to the slightly more serious stuff. A criminal background check. Don't worry, we've all got skeletons in the closet. As long as you haven't been up to any major mischief, you're golden. You'll also need health insurance. Because, let's face it, the Maltese healthcare system is fantastic, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. And finally, proof of accommodation and financial means. They want to make sure you're not going to be sleeping on the beach and begging for bread, you see. Alright, lovelies, now that we've tackled the paperwork mountain, let's talk about the application process itself. It's a bit like a game show, really. Lots of steps, a few hoops to jump through, but with a shiny Maltese visa as the prize. Step 1, find yourself a job offer. This is like getting past the first round of auditions. Once you've got that, your employer will need to apply for an employment license for you. Think of them as your backstage crew, sorting out all the boring but essential stuff. While they're busy with that, you can start gathering your documents. Remember that mountain of paperwork we talked about? Well, now's the time to start climbing. Once you've got everything, you can apply for your National Long Stay Visa, or D Visa. This is your ticket to actually enter Malta. With your D Visa in hand, you can finally set foot on Maltese soil. But hold your horses, darling, you're not done yet. You'll need to submit your single permit application once you arrive. This is the final hurdle, the last question on the game show, and then you wait. I know, the suspense is killing me too, but trust me, it's worth the wait. Once your application is approved, you'll be the proud owner of a Maltese work permit and free to start your new life in paradise. Now let's talk about the bit nobody likes, money. I'm afraid visas don't come cheap, darling. The single permit application will set you back €280.50. And that's on top of the €150 your employer will have to shell out for the employment license. The EU Blue Card is slightly cheaper at €140, and the Type D visa will cost you another €100. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, there's the processing times. The work permit can take up to 60 days to be approved, and then another 2 to 3 months for the visa to be issued. I know it's enough to make you want to tear your hair out. But listen, my lovelies, it's all part of the adventure, isn't it? And trust me, when you're sipping cocktails on a sunny Maltese beach, you'll have forgotten all about the paperwork and the waiting. Now, because the world just loves to keep us on our toes, there have been a few teeny-tiny changes to the visa process for 2025. Don't worry, it's nothing too drastic, just a few tweaks here and there. First up, they've introduced these wonderfully detailed checklists. It's like they're holding your hand through the whole process, making sure you don't forget a single form or document. Not very rock and roll, I know, but very helpful nonetheless. They've also got this new declaration of refusal form. Now don't let the name scare you. It's basically just a way for them to explain why your application might have been rejected. Transparency, darling. It's all the rage these days. But honestly, as long as you've got all your ducks in a row, your paperwork is in order, and you haven't been up to any funny business, you've got nothing to worry about. Now for my lovely viewers joining us from Bangladesh, a special message just for you. We know moving to a new country can be daunting, especially when it comes to things like language and culture. While English is widely spoken in Malta, having a bit of Maltese under your belt will definitely make life easier. Think of it as a party trick, a way to impress the locals and maybe even get a free pasticci or two. And speaking of culture, Malta is a melting pot of Mediterranean charm and Arabic influences. It's a place where you can enjoy a traditional fennec stew while listening to the call to prayer echoing in the distance. Embrace the differences, my darlings, because that's what makes life interesting. And if you ever feel a little homesick, just remember, there's always a plate of biryani waiting for you back home. So there you have it, my lovelies. Your ultimate guide to navigating the exciting and yes, sometimes confusing world of Maltese work visas. We've covered everything from the different types of visas to the application process, and even thrown in a few tips for good measure. Remember, a little preparation goes a long way. Get your paperwork in order, brush up on your Maltese greetings, and most importantly, pack your swimsuit. Malta is waiting with open arms and a plate of delicious pasticci. Good luck, have fun, and who knows, maybe I'll see you at the beach bar. Cheers!